So I'm Aaron Thomas. I'm the brand ambassador for Canada for Sailor Jerry. I look after the brand on all its consumer engagement, any of the marketing stuff we do, and more importantly, I get to be behind the bar making all the drinks for Sailor Jerry, which is probably my favorite thing. So this is our first event with Tum. We never did anything with them before because they'd never done a spirit before. They approached us, we jumped in on it. The reason it spoke to us is because we're a lifestyle brand. This is a lifestyle event, right? We want to speak to people that are interested in being part of something more than just having a sip and then buggering off, which seems to be one of the bigger things that you have happen when you're at these events, right? They're free samples, no one takes any care on their drink, and they're off. So we jumped in on it because our rum is a premium rum. It's from Trinidad and Tobago. We bring it up. We bottle it in Edison, New Jersey, but before it gets bottled, we barrel age it for 1 year with the spice. Spices are all Caribbean spices, like Madagascar vanilla, everything like star anise and nutmeg all comes from like places like Nicaragua and things like that. The big reason that our rum, and we have such a pride behind our rum, is the same reason Sailor Jerry is a part of it. It's that stand on your own 2 feet, you know what I mean? Like that ideal that you are an individual. You're a free thinker, you're an innovator. And the rum itself is like helps that, right? You're talking about a strong, bold rum that's, in my opinion, it's one of the best spice rums out there. I mean, there's a lot out there. They don't do a lot of the overproof. Some of the ones that do the overproof, they don't go through the same maturation process, so you lose out on a lot of that. But you can go ahead, test them all yourself. I'll tell you right now, you'll come back to Sailor Jerry. We do that all the time. I'm not saying the others are bad. I'm just saying that when we go out and we do a comparison, we're leaps and bounds. What makes that so strong is not only because it's a Caribbean rum, but the same guys who are the master blenders for Grant's, Glenfiddich, right? They're doing our rum, and these guys have like centuries of knowledge on scotches and whiskeys. So we've got an opportunity to take advantage of that as the distiller that now looks after us. It originally started back with a guy named Steve Grass. We started a clothing line, and it was just like t-shirts. They went to Sailor Jerry's estate holders were Ed Hardy and Mike Malone. So for about $5,000 or something like that, the story goes, he said, yeah, you can have these flash pieces and then you can print them on any tee you want, and it's up to you what you do with it. And they never really thought it was going to take off. They didn't think anyone was going to make the money. Just some skate kids trying to make some cash, do something different. And it blew up. Everyone wanted to wear the gear. So the clothing line evolved, but then at some point it kind of staled. So Steve had already done a lot of the innovation for Hendrick's Gin. And they were like, well, do you want to do something with me for Sailor Jerry? And they're, yeah, okay. So they go ahead and they make the rum because it makes sense. You're talking about a guy who was a merchant marine during World War II. He sailed all over the world. I mean, not on a sailboat, mainly on regular ships, of course. The guy's not that old. He was born in 1911, died in '73, lived almost all of his life in Hawaii, though, as a tattoo artist. He tattooed almost everybody that came into port in Hawaii during World War II. There was lineups. There's other tattoo artists that came out of that era too, but Sailor Jerry is probably the most iconic American artist in this genre of art. And any artist that tattoos now has literally been inspired by this work, right? And I'm not saying that they saw it and that's what they, I want to tattoo old school flash, but he was the one who started using purple. He had whip shades, fine lines, hard lines, things that had never been done in tattooing before. A lot of Asiatic influence, and that was huge. You're talking about like 1930s, like the far off land, no one's been there, and this guy's been back in there, and he's like only 24, and he's tattooing this stuff. Yeah, like really iconic dude. Not the nicest guy all the time, man. There's a lot of weird stories about how he developed purple, and he wouldn't tell anyone how he did it. So he'd like half tell somebody, and then they would never get it right, and he would drive other tattooists nuts. Another great story is when he, guys were like, how do you, your flash sheets stay so bright in the shop? How do you do that? Because everyone back in the day smoking in the shops, in the sun, whatever, it fades the paper. It's like, oh, you mix sugar water with it. So the guy goes, oh, okay, mixes sugar water with his paints, comes back next day, all the paint's eating off the wall, and there's ants everywhere. So yeah, a bit of a joker maybe, but definitely not the nicest guy. And all those things were like why we pay homage to him with the rum, why with the clothing line, why we have a whole fast series that's all about people who are building things with their own 2 hands. So you're talking about like bike builders, guys who build tattoo machines, butchers, barbers, right? True artisans, just like he was.